and then they got Eiffel Towered by the Seahawks this past weekend, 44-13.
They have so far to go on defense. There is no point in paying Dak and CD and George Pickens or any of those guys.
But it's the biggest surprise. People were calling for Ballard to be fired last year. People were even starting to throw Steichen in the mix too. Maybe they should both be fired.
Welcome in, beautiful people, to the hottest new sports podcast on the block, High Fiber Sports. Get your fiber in. Matt Cobold, Brad McDonald, and back with us tonight, our Indianapolis Colt representative, everything AFC South. He had boots on the ground for that ass beating in Nashville this past Sunday. Sam Belka. Sam, what's up?
Nothing much, guys. As always, appreciate you having me on. Love talking some football, talking some sports.
Let us know how that 3-touchdown beatdown in Nashville went for you.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, this is the fourth year going to a Colts away game and first time within the division. So bought the tickets for cheap because when I bought them, Daniel Jones had just been named the quarterback, and you have the Titans coming off the season that they did. Boys, the seats were great. We were maybe like 20 rows up from the end zone. So I got to see at least 2 Jonathan Taylor touchdowns coming right at me. Got to see the Kenny Moore pick 6 start of the game come right at me. It was awesome, and we'll get into it, but man, feel sorry for you, Matt, and all other Titans fans. It's rough sledding.
Those Titans tickets.
There were boos, and there were chants for Callahan to be fired before halftime. It's rough in the streets down in Nashville. Broadway's looking rough.
Those Titans tickets, they like MLB style tickets, like $13 Would they pay you to come to the games? They're like, fuck it, we just need to fill this up, man. Here's cash. Get up there.
Let's get into that point.
Ooh, it's bad. You know, I was talking earlier, we were looking at fantasy numbers because one of my quarterbacks is kind of shit, or both of them actually, in one of my leagues. So I'm like, I got to pick something up. And I was just looking, I looked at Cam's numbers. Holy fuck. Oh, that's atrocious. Wow. That's bad for a rookie. That makes Daniel Jones in New York look good.
Yeah, we don't want to waste too much of the people's time talking about the Titans, 0-3.
Fair enough.
Giving me another loss this weekend, but a big W I did get, Brad, in our fantasy matchup. Going into Monday night, boys, I was down by 18.5 points. Gave me a 12% chance to win. Sam, you know who I threw in that flex, baby? I threw in Iowa State's own David Montgomery.
Oh, no.
What did he do? I needed 18.5, boys. He gave me almost a 30-piece. 12 carries for a $151 and 2 tutties. RB2 on the week. I won by 11. Wasn't even sweating it. Brad, how do you feel about your boy David Montgomery from Iowa State giving me the big W over you on Monday night? A Monday night miracle.
That's rough.
That's a double heartbreak, dude. Like, you lose 1 to you, 2 to one of my boys, like Iowa State. Like, I'm all about Montgomery. He was the first line of stud backs coming out of Iowa State. Turns out we're not going to stop either. They're coming still. But yeah, that was a double heartbreaker, man. All I can say is it was good to see you this past weekend, but I don't like you anymore.
Great having you out here in the Mile High City. I'm sure that'll come up again throughout the next few episodes, Brad. But very happy to get off the schneid to get my first W, especially over you. But this week on High Fiber Sports, we're going to talk about what's going on. 3 weeks in the NFL. You know, there's a lot of undefeated teams. There's winless teams. There's some injuries. The trade deadline's right around the corner. But let's start with talking about the undefeated teams here, fellas. 6 undefeated teams after 3 weeks. Right at the top, Sammy boy, got to start with your Indianapolis Colts. A plus 47 point differential. That's tops in the NFL. Whipped Miami, needed a walk-off field goal against the Broncos, and kicked my Titans' ass by 3 touchdowns. The Buffalo Bills are undefeated. Squeaked that one against Baltimore week 1. Beat up on the Jets, and then beat up on Miami last Thursday night. Looking at the Chargers are undefeated. Beat KC in that overseas game. Beat up on the Raiders and then squeaked out one against the Broncos on a walk-off field goal Sunday. The Eagles are undefeated. Beat the Cowboys. They won at Kansas City and then had the big comeback win against the Rams this past week. Brad, your 49ers are also in the undefeated mix. Won at Seattle, won at New Orleans, and beat the Cardinals walk-off field goal this past week. A lot of walk-off field goals here. Lastly, last undefeated team, 3-0, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They beat the Falcons in Atlanta under a minute with Egbuka, that touchdown. They won at Houston with 6 seconds to go. They scored, and they beat the Jets on a walk-off field goal. Brad, going to throw it to you here first. How are you feeling about these 6 undefeated teams? Who are you most surprised by? Who are you most confident in? Which one of these teams are going to shit the bed? How you feeling?
I mean, Eagles, nothing. I'm not feeling anything about that. They've won, 19 games in a row or some shit like that. 19-1, they just do what they do. They're very talented. Yeah, no surprise. Bills, not really that surprised either. Josh Allen is ascending. No surprise there. The Niners, I'm not surprised that the Niners are 3-0. I'm surprised that the Niners are 3-0 with all the injuries they've had. I'm a diehard, but this is insane. Coach of the year isn't even close right now, in my opinion. I'm sorry. 3-0 with the guys that we have out right now. Ayuk, Kittle, now Bosa. He must have, after the...
Turds.
Yeah. Purdy's been out, obviously. And, I mean, offensive linemen. We got people out all over the place. I was going to do a whole thing on Purdy, and you ruined it there, asshole. But anyway, that's the most
I'm glad
impressive.
you ruined it.
Yeah, I know you are. That is the most impressive one to me, but again, I'm not shocked that they're 3-0. Kyle Shanahan knows how to coach. Turns out Mac might not be ass. I mean, he might do the same thing as Darno did when he left here. Went and got a real job and actually performed well. Who knows? I don't know, but he's slow as snails, and he's still got to be able to move a little bit as an NFL quarterback. So I don't know if he could do it for a long time, but Bucks, Baker Mayfield, man. I was all about him. I've been singing his praises. I'm a big fan. He was my sleeper MVP. I think he's the MVP right now with all these last second.
Whoa.
How would he not be with all his comeback wins? Comeback wins? That is the guy taking the ball at the end of the game and winning the game. He's done it every game this year.
Big balls.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
balls.
That's MVP right now in my mind.
Sammy, throwing to you here now. Those 6 undefeated teams. Who are you most surprised by, most confident in? Who's going to shit the bed out of these 6 teams? What's your thoughts?
Well, let me tell you guys what everybody is thinking. They're thinking boring. The Eagles, they're not passing the ball. The games are low scoring. Jalen Hurts threw his first touchdown pass in week 3, but that's exactly what makes them the scariest team, okay? Clearly, we saw when they were forced to go hurry up and throw the ball, they can do it. But they're not going to unless you make them, which to the Rams' credit, they did. They gave them the Eagles all that they could handle. But that's what the Eagles want to do. They are banking that they're going to come in and be the bigger bully. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play incredible defense with that young defensive unit, those star young cornerbacks. That's exactly what they want to do. People were chirping about A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith not getting fantasy points and Jalen not chucking it, but they did at the end of that game. They're the scariest team, boys.
Yeah,
so not surprised.
Yeah.
Not surprised, but maybe a little bit surprised that they're able to, with the exception of this past week, do it exactly how they want to.
Fair.
And you're saying biggest surprise, they're good teams, and a lot of them were pretty good last year. I mean, the biggest surprise has to be the Indianapolis Colts. I'll say it.
You notice how I left that one for you? I didn't. I was
I appreciate it, buddy.
Leave that for you.
That's Brad giving me the alley-oop so I can slam dunk it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dwell on it too long. We've talked about the Colts plenty when I've been on here. But it's the biggest surprise. People were calling for Ballard to be fired last year. People were even starting to throw Steichen in the mix too. Maybe they should both be fired.
Yep.
And the daughters, the new owners, should just start clean. But everything is working. I mean, the offseason acquisition of Cam Bynum, 2 picks already, Charvarius Ward. Colts haven't had a shutdown corner in forever. Tyler Warren. Chris Ballard finally went sexy and got a skill position, high-profile guy in the draft. Look at what he's doing. I mean, he's doing like Brock Bowers level things. And then honestly, with Steichen and the decision to go with Daniel Jones, he took a lot of flack for it. A lot of the Colts faithful, including myself, thought that Anthony should get the starting position because you felt like he maybe earned it. He kind of matured a little bit, grew up in the offseason, was looking pretty good. And there really wasn't much of a difference when you looked at the two of them. Like, Daniel Jones wasn't standing out in the preseason games or in training camp, but what we've seen is incredible. And what I'm beginning to realize is that Steichen wasn't necessarily banking on Daniel Jones. He was banking on Daniel Jones and his offensive system. Those two dudes are the biggest football nerds you'll ever meet. And, like, the way their minds work, it just clicks well. And Daniel can take whatever Shane throws at him and run with it. But some of these stats that the national media, that's the other thing. National media is talking about the Colts. That never happens unless it's something negative, at least in the last, 10 years. But some of the records that they're breaking, it's insane.
Yeah.
Shout out to your Colts, Sammy. I'm most surprised by them, too. No doubt about it.
Is your mic working? I thought I heard something from Matt saying the Colts were shout out or something like that.
I thought we were having tech issues. Sammy, gotta be impressed. Gotta be surprised by the Colts with that plus 47-point differential. But I'll tell you, their opponent's record 1-8. 1-8. Miami, Tennessee, they're both shit in the bed. Broncos only have 1 win. Not that impressive there. But who I might be the most confident in, am I crazy to say the LA Chargers? Am I crazy with that big 3 on the outside for Justin Herbert? Yes, Najee goes down with the Achilles, but we love Omari and Hampton. All 3 of their wins so far, all in the division. They got a head start on the division, boys.
Yeah, that division. I mean, look at the standings right now. There's only 1 win each for the other 3 teams, right?
I like the Chargers a lot. One team that I might throw in that could shit the bed here, I will say the Bucks, Brad. I like the Baker pick. Baker's playing great. Big balls, maybe Big Balls of the Year award right now. But their 3 wins, all under a minute by a total of 6 points. Their opponent's record is 1-8. 1-8, their opponent's record. Tampa Bay, that division is confusing. Brad, you and I like Atlanta, Carolina smacked them by 30 piece.
Yeah.
So it might just be Tampa's division. It might just be Tampa's.
Yeah. I'd have to think so.
Let's turn the page quickly to the winless teams, fellas. 0-3, the Houston Texans in the AFC South. They only scored 9 points in L.A. against the Rams in Week 1. Got beat by Tampa and then lost in Jacksonville last weekend. The Jets lost a shootout Week 1 to the Steelers, lost to Buffalo by 20, and then lost to Tampa Bay on that walk-off. The Giants, the New York Giants, with the quarterback switch here, the Jackson Dart coming up. Russell 2 poops a week. Wilson, get the fuck out of here. You got your ass beat by Washington in Week 1. Lost a shootout to Dallas in overtime in Week 2, 40-37. Great game, yeah. And then lost to the Chiefs here on Sunday night. The Miami Dolphins, the basement might fall out on these boys. They got their ass beat by the Colts in Week 1. Lost to the Pats in Week 2, and then lost by 10 to the Bills on Thursday night. My Tennessee Titans, they lost out here in Denver 20-12. Got ran by the Rams, got train wrecked by the fucking Colts last weekend, 0-3. And let's not forget about the New Orleans Saints. They're at the basement. They lose by a tutty to Arizona. They barely lose, Brad, barely lose to your 49ers by 5. Spencer Rattler, 3 tutties in that game, oh boy. And then they got Eiffel Towered by the Seahawks this past weekend, 44-13. Sammy, throwing it to you here. Same questions pretty much. Who are you most surprised by? Who could go on a win streak? Which one of these teams is the worst in the NFL? How you feeling here?
Yeah, I think biggest surprise has to be the Texans as far as an expectation standpoint. It seems like the offensive system over there is doing everything they can to waste C.J. Stroud's early years. I like D'Amico Ryans as a head coach. I really thought they were going to get right last week against Jacksonville. I was shocked that they went down 0-3. Like, that's the team who I had winning the division. I thought they were going to take a step back from last year, but they were still a playoff team. And not only that, but a playoff winning team. So to see them start the season 0-3, you got to start to think about morale. The heartbreaker to the Buccaneers, and you follow that up with a division loss to a Jaguars team that is on the rise and improving, but you're still better than they are. So that's got to be my biggest surprise. There's a couple in there that you're not super surprised. Like, I hate to say it, but your Titans, like, this isn't the year. I think you just
beat up on me tonight.
this wasn't gonna. I wasn't gonna beat up on you in this one. All I was gonna say is you got a young quarterback. Let him take his licks. Let him get baptized by fire. Figure out how to be. You were a good college quarterback. Now figure out how to be a good NFL quarterback.
He'll get there.
I hate to say it this soon. It's a lost season, but I was there and I saw him play. He's got talent. I think he has the right stuff. I think he can be a future franchise quarterback for the Titans. So a lot to look forward to in the future, but this year ain't it.
Who's the worst team out of these 6, Sam?
Saints, for sure.
Yeah. Give Cam Ward some time, boys. He looked cool, comfortable, confident in the pocket out here in the Mile High City against the Broncos in his first ever game. Give him some time. He needs some more weapons, some better play calling. Brad, of these 6 winless teams, who are you most surprised by? Who could go on a win streak? Who's the worst team in the NFL?
I mean, it's just so obvious, unfortunately, for this question. It's the Texans. Like, no one would have saw them at 0-3. I'm also not super worried. I think they could go, they could flip it around. They totally could. I believe in D'Amico Ryans. I don't know about their offense. Maybe C.J. Stroud was just a flash in the pan his rookie year because he really hasn't done much since. And so they drafted weapons out the ass, and they've got some players there. Sure, Mixon's out. So, I mean, old Chubb isn't exactly the best fill in there at his age. He's way beyond his prime. So, it's not just that, though. Stroud's missing passes. He's turned the ball over. I know the offense is so inefficient. I don't know. I've watched a couple of their games, and I thought it was awful. So that was the biggest surprise to me. The other teams, I didn't think the Jets would be great, but they're playing better than I thought they would on offense. I will say that they're spreading the ball out, they're running the ball well, they're using their weapons at times. Seems like just losing at the end of the game for a couple of them. They could be 2-1 right now, damn near.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, really it comes down. Giants, I'm just going to say wait and see, because maybe we all saw Russell Wilson at the end of that fucking Chiefs game throw the ball in the fucking tunnel and then off the goal, nowhere near and
Fourth down off the upright.
It's
what the fuck?
that was him live saying fuck it, I quit. That's exactly what he did, because he didn't even give anyone a chance for anything on 4th down. He just
Why are you throwing it away?
Yeah.
Who cares if you get a pick in that situation? What?
That was him saying I quit. Like that, you got to get Dart in there, and they love Dart. I don't know why they didn't just start at the beginning. Maybe catch his licks and have to go. There's not going to be a good time. They have one of the hardest schedules in the NFL. It's going to be rough. But, I mean, Russell Wilson has been done. Seattle was right when they got rid of him. He hasn't been shit since. Yeah. So, yeah, the Giants, I'll say we'll wait and see. Satan's. That's what you call them together, Saints and Titans. Satans. They suck. Both teams suck. I actually think the Titans are worse. I'm sorry, Matt.
Whoa.
That was.
We got a quarterback?
Have you seen your quarterback stat?
I'm rolling with Rattler.
Do you want it? I'm going to pull up, right here, folks, I'm going to pull up Rattler's stats versus Cam Ward's stats. And you tell me who's doing better right now.
Show me those Rattler stats versus your Niners. He looked like John Elway out there.
Did he win? He did not. And the Niners, third, fourth best scoring per game, I'm not sure, defense. So don't even worry about it. Yeah, Robert Saleh is a man. Nice work, Jets. Yeah, you guys are on again, like always. Nailed it. You have the 4th best or 6th best defense. You fire him and you go to the 20-some. Yeah.
That's what you get.
That's what you get. Yeah.
I'll say this about Cam Ward. It's a rookie doing rookie things, but the Titans are definitely banged up on both offensive and defensive line. I think Latham was out. And I saw it firsthand. He was running for his life. I mean, he doesn't even have the time to make stupid mistakes because he's getting sacked. So I'll say that for him.
I'm not saying anything about Cam Ward in that situation. I'm saying the team is just not anywhere. There's no one there right now around him. So he might be a dude. I said last week that pass, man, was one of the best that we're going to see all year. But he got no one else around him, man. Yeah.
Yeah. One catch from Ridley this past weekend. Yeah, it's light. It's light there.
Yeah.
Io Manor, though, he's going to be a dog.
I hope so for their sake. I really do, because I like Cam Ward. I really hope he does well. I got nothing against Titans.
Of these 6 winless teams, I'm most surprised, like you boys, by the Houston Texans. I had them as my divisional champ. They got to fix the offensive line there. Sammy, if you go back and compare C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson, pretty similar, fellas, last few games. Pretty similar between the two. Who could go on a win streak here? I'm going to throw out the New York Jets. You know, Justin Fields, I'm not sure if he's going to come back this week.
I could see that.
Fantasy-wise, the Jets play on Monday night, so have backup options for them. But the Jets could go on a run here. Their opponent's record, 8-1, so pretty solid strength of schedule for the Jets.
Oh, wow.
Which one of these teams is the worst team in the NFL? I said it before the season started. I'm on the Saints. I hammered their 4.5 under 4.5 win total. Hammered it, and it's looking like a good bet.
Yeah, probably.
You know, boys, week 1, we didn't have too many injuries. Week 2, we talked about a few quarterbacks, some concussions. You know, Austin Eckler tore his Achilles. We see Najee Harris tore his Achilles last week. Sammy, boy, can you run us through the landscape of the injury scene right now in the NFL after 3 weeks?
Absolutely. You know, and funny enough, it really started in the preseason, as it always does. Training camp, preseason games. Even then, you see the big time names ending up on injured reserve and out for the season. And not so much individual injuries, so much as how certain key injuries have an accumulative effect on the team, and whether or not those teams can overcome those injuries and what they might look like with those injuries middle of the season, into the season. I mean, boys, we got to start with the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, Brad was alluding to it. Just recently, Nick Bosa out for the season.
Yeah.
Spencer Burford, Ben Barch, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. And people talked about it a lot
Purdy.
To start. Brock Purdy. Now, I do think you're going to get Brock Purdy back. It's looking like he's trending to play this upcoming Sunday.
Yeah.
So a little bit of good news there. And, it won't be long for George Kittle with that, 4 games of IR.
Yeah.
Some of these teams I'm going to bring up, I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on whether or not you can see them overcoming these injuries or not. Personally, with the 49ers, I definitely see them overcoming these injuries.
Goddamn.
A lot's been made about their strength of schedule. Easiest strength of schedule in the league. And it seems like that was front-loaded with some of these teams that they've played. And I'm sorry, but good teams find a way to win, no matter what the circumstances are. I'm going to give a lot of credit to Robert Saleh and that defense. That defense is playing lights out. They're keeping these scores low so that Mac Jones can find a way to get a touchdown and keep them in games. So I got to throw it to you, Brad. What are your thoughts? Go off on your 49ers and all these injuries. What do you think?
I mean, you know what I'm going to say about everything. Best coach in the league. You know what? No, I'm not going to go on that route. I'm actually going to be honest. Kyle Shanahan should be coach of the year right now with all these injuries. Honestly, with the pieces that he's lost, I should not be so confident in my team right now. I should be very sad every Sunday and not want to watch football, but we keep winning these games somehow. It is so impressive. I love him more than I ever have. He's killing it right now. And he's kind of like Kevin O'Connell, and like these guys they come in for the year, they learn under him, and then they start for Kevin O'Connell, and they do really well. I believe in Kyle Shanahan. We get these guys back. I think they're going to be right in the mix, probably going to win the division.
Kyle Shanahan or Shane Steichen for Coach of the Year, put it in the comments. Sammy, keep going.
A win is a win is a win. And 2 of those wins are against division rivals it doesn't matter how close they were. They got to win over the Seahawks and a win over the Cardinals. And at the end of the year, it doesn't matter how ugly it was. 2 key divisional wins this early when you're this injured, that's huge. And I'll just kind of read off some of the upcoming games for the 49ers. They have the Jags coming, then Rams, Bucks, then Falcons, Texans, Giants. How about that run? A little bit later in the season, Cardinals, Panthers, Browns, Titans. So you got to like the 49ers going forward.
Exactly, undefeated year. That's what I've been.
Are you calling it right now? 17-0?
Duh, because it doesn't actually mean anything. So of course I am.
I want to say I heard that the Niners have the easiest schedule of anyone since 2015. 2015.
Wow.
That's pretty neat.
Sam, keep rolling.
All right, boys. Another team that we have to talk about that's starting to have the injuries pile up, but have overcome said injuries, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We were just talking about it. They're one of those teams that's 3-0, which I think is impressive, especially when they started the season off without young star offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs and superstar wide receiver Chris Godwin. I know they were really excited for that trio of Godwin, Egbuka, and Mike Evans, but they just have to wait. And I think that's allowed Egbuka to step up, which has been pretty cool to watch. But both of those guys are trending to play this week. Notice that they did not put them on IR to start the season because they were banking on getting them back for week 4. Bummer with Mike Evans. I mean, seems like the last couple of years he's struggling to stay healthy. He's doubtful this week, and they're saying that he's probably going to be missing a couple of weeks with that hamstring. So once again, opportunity for Egbuka to step up. But boys, here's what I'm saying. You give Baker more time to build chemistry with Egbuka. You get Godwin. You get some help on the offensive line. Sucks that Mike Evans going out, so it's almost like you're trading blows a little bit. But again, they've managed to start the season off 3-0. Those wins are huge when you're limping a little bit. So I think the Bucs are a team that can get healthy. Schedule's a little bit tough, so they're going to need to get some guys back. They got Eagles, Seahawks, Niners, Lions, Saints, Patriots. A couple of tough ones, a couple of easy ones. Matt, I'm going to throw this to you. What are your thoughts on the Buccaneers?
I like their weapons. Brad, you love Baker. I'm worried about Mike Evans. That hamstring. It seems like he's had a couple hamstrings in the recent couple of years. Couple hamstring injuries. He's already 32 years old, fellas. Chris Godwin, I might not be as high on him as you guys. I like Chris Godwin, but he had a cleanup procedure on his ankle in April. I don't like multiple surgeries here. A cleanup procedure. Fellas, I like Egbuka. I like Bucky Irving out of the backfield. You know, they got Tristan Wirfs back. Bucks are going to be okay. The division is down. Bucks are going to be all right. But Egbuka, sleeper for you, Brad. Great pick there. Bucky Irving out of the backfield. Solid weapon still for the Bucks. Could even be a buyer at the trade deadline.
Oh, maybe I could see it.
Solid points, boys. It can't all be good, though. I think there are some teams that are dealing with a lot of injuries that are mounting that's going to hurt them, and maybe they won't overcome it. I'm going to stick in your division, Brad, NFC West, and talk about the Cardinals. They have the Seahawks coming up for Thursday Night Football, then Titans, Colts, Packers, Cowboys, Seahawks, Niners again. James Conner, we all saw it. Heartbroken for that guy. Man, he's just had some rough luck.
I heard that it was unwatchable, so I actually, in fact, did not watch it. That's when I was driving back from Colorado, and I heard there was an audible gasp from the crowd when they replayed it live, and they didn't put it on TV. I heard it was nasty. Yeesh.
It was pretty rough. I did see a replay of it. Your body parts aren't meant to bend that way. It was tough to watch, and with James Conner, who's been through so much, had a couple of decently healthy seasons, and some very productive fantasy seasons. I definitely got a few tears rolling down my cheeks because he's been one of my starting running backs in one of my fantasy teams, so that's tough. But that was one of the quickest news updates where you found out it was season ending. I mean, yeah. I don't know if he got out of the stadium before they said, yeah, he's done for the year. Yeah. The other thing with the Cardinals, and some casual fans might not know, ton of defensive injuries. That cornerback room is decimated. They're really hurting on defense, and I think you've seen that already come into play with the loss to the 49ers. Brad, I'm going to throw this one to you. Your thoughts on the Cardinals, their injuries, and their ability to overcome or not overcome them as the season continues to roll on?
I mean, I don't think so. We'll see. It depends on. I don't know how long everyone's going to be gone other than Connor, and Connor is a big part of their offense. He has been a really solid, no matter what, you're in the red zone, you can rely on him to get you touchdowns. Because that's kind of what Matt was alluding to. He's been a touchdown monster in fantasy over the last few years. And like you said, Sam, story's great, surviving cancer, whatever. You root for him. I don't know. The Cardinals are the team in the division every single year I don't know about. They could, the year they start, 7-8-0 and finish 9-7 or some shit like that. I just never know with them. They might be okay. I don't know, but the Niners have kind of played 3 similar games in a row where it's low scoring, Niners pull it out type of shit. So I don't know what this means yet. So early, I don't know if I can buy into them yet though. Especially with the injuries, I can't foresee this team being good enough to overcome that unless they get a lot of these guys back.
Boys, it's a cliche, but we know it to be true. The injury rate in the NFL is 100%. These aren't the only 3 teams that are suffering from injuries. A couple of honorable mentions as far as injuries go. Chargers are hurt. Ravens, that defensive line, and Texans too. Matt, I'm going to throw it to you. Riff on one of the teams I just mentioned, or if you have a team of your own that we're not talking about, a team that is dealing with some injuries.
I'll talk about the Texans real quick here. Joe Mixon, he comes in the season, the owner comes out and says, we don't know if he's going to play this year. And my goodness, I don't know if we're going to see Joe Mixon that backfield. Nasty, ugly. Nick Chubb, how old is he? How many surgeries has he had? I'll throw out the rookie, though. Woody Marks, the 4th rounder out of USC. He might be the guy with the most juice in that backfield. Real name for Woody Marks, Joe Quavius. Joe Quavius Marks goes by Woody. I never heard of Joe Quavius. But I will throw in the Cowboys also as an honorable mention here, Sammy. CeeDee Lamb with that high ankle sprain. How many weeks is he going to miss? My guy George Pickens gets elevated to the top dog. Currently wide receiver 20, only 24 years old. Can he step up? Can he get a big contract? Also for the Cowboys, their rookie starting right guard, Tyler Booker, the number 12 pick from Alabama. He's expected to go on IR with an ankle injury. What does that mean for Javonte Williams, the run game? Javonte, RB7? RB7 in fantasy right now? My goodness. I think Dak's going to have to air it out even more. George Pickens deep. I like that combo. Brad?
The one that I think has been pretty evident so far, being that it's nothing like a normal Baltimore Ravens team, has been their defensive line injuries. Having Van Noy and I can't think of his name. Matabuke, right? Yeah. He's been out. So having those 2 guys out, I think, is really shown. If you watched last game, they were just getting gashed in the run game. And it's been like that all year, giving up over 30 points a game. That's not a Baltimore Ravens defense. I think their offense will turn around. I think they can survive this. But I think it's really hurt them, and that's why, just like last year, they started out slow. I wouldn't be worried if I was a Ravens fan. I think they're going to turn around. I think they're still going to score. Henry's not really known for fumbles. Yes, he's had 2 in the 4th quarter in the first 3 weeks of the season so far, but you tend to regress towards the mean. Those are 2 more outliers per his career than the other way around. It's not like he wasn't having it high and tight. That was a big-ass man that slapped that ball out, okay? Hutch ain't no little guy. So, I'm really not too worried about them. I think they're going to be fine. But they have been hurt on the defensive line. I think it showed up on the scoreboard, definitely, for them.
Injuries are going to happen. It's a brutal game, fellas. And with injuries, especially to big dogs, teams may or may not try to fill the void. And with that, the trade deadline is never too early to talk about. Brad, give us your thoughts on the upcoming trade deadline in the NFL.
It's not too early, but it's kind of too early right now. I think 3 weeks into the season, this is where the rumor mill starts. Because there are some certain teams where I'm like, just go home. Just retire or just sit at home, force a trade. Just get the hell out of there because you're going to get beat up and there's no reason to do that to yourself. So I'm going to start with anyone on the Bengals, honestly. Just go ahead. The franchise doesn't seem to know what it's doing. They put all this money into 3 positions. They have nothing to protect the only position that matters to them anyway. Yeah, that's a little overkill, but without Joe Burrow, we see what they are. They're not the Bengals. So I would say Hendrickson for sure has got to be one of the top guys on the list right now. They gave him just a 1-year extension, gave him some more money. They already knew they were going to lose him. He's obviously a one and done. That's the most common one. I would say Tyreek Hill. Watch out for him. The Dolphins, I don't foresee that getting better. And on top of that, Jalen Phillips there too. Both those guys, young guys that can snatch you a bunch of picks. And then maybe if a team has a quarterback that goes down here soon, they can get Tua so he goes down for him when he does his first handshake, probably. I don't know. But they might as well just get rid of any expensive pieces they have. I don't think it's going to happen there. I would also say another one to look. If I was Dallas Cowboys, I'd do a fire sale. You have some of the most. They're done. They have so far to go on defense. There is no point in paying Dak and CD and George Pickens or any of those guys. They're done. I called it at the beginning of the year. They're going to get last place in the division, and they're going to. Because Jackson Dart's going to turn around the Giants. And when I say turn around the Giants, I mean turn around in comparison to how shitty the Cowboys are. So, they'll win, 5 games versus 4. So calm down. I don't think the Giants, that's bad. Daboll's terrible. But those are just a few guys. I can rail off a few others that I think could be traded, but those are kind of some obvious ones. You guys got any sleepers or any people you think are going to be traded by the deadline or might be on the hot seat to get the fuck out of there by now? Sam, who you got?
Maybe we saw breadcrumbs with Tank Bigsby. Maybe the Jaguars aren't done trading away running backs.
Oh,
Easy.
I feel like we've seen a few decent sparks from the rookie Bashal Tutin, and Etienne had a hot start in week 1, but he's kind of.
I mean, come on, his name.
If there was ever an appropriate time.
Yeah, it's not farting.
Do you want me to say it one more time?
That's wet.
That's not Tutin.
That's what I said.
But-
That's farting.
That-
Or sharting.
But Bashal Tutin has shown some sparks, and Etienne started off the season strong, but in the 2 games that have followed, less attempts, less fantasy points, less production. I don't know. Maybe the Jaguars would be interested come trade deadline, try and shop Travis Etienne while he still has that name notoriety. Get some picks or get somebody that they need. I feel like that's kind of a sleeper.
I think they keep it stable there, honestly, with already getting rid of Bigsby. Matt?
I gotta go with Brad here. Sammy, RB9, Travis Etienne, RB9 on the season, 14 carries in all 3, at least 14 carries in all 3 games. 143 rushing yards in that first week. Travis Etienne, a former first-round pick, Eskimo brothers with Trevor Lawrence. So let's keep them together.
Allegedly. I don't know if that's an actual story. Better not, allegedly.
Can I give you a running back? Can I give you a running back?
Give me some, Matt. It's your turn.
He's on a shitty team, okay, and he's been there his whole career. He's paid his dues. He's a big dog, a lot of volume. Alvin Kamara, let's get him out of Norman.
Yeah.
Let's send him to Pittsburgh, boys.
Good one.
Let's send him to the Steelers. Let's send him to the Steelers. I feel like Jalen Warren is having a solid season. Jalen Warren is looking solid. but he's not an RB1. He's not an RB1. Let's get Kamara to Pittsburgh. You know, we got some teams that might be looking for a receiver.
They got to get a line,
Tyreek Hill,
dude.
Say again.
They got to get a line there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Kamara could make up for some of that.
Yeah, you're right.
So, some wide receivers could be available. Definitely Tyreek Hill. We talked about him last week. T. Higgins, Cincinnati might need to sell. Jacoby Myers, he was disgruntled about a contract, and he could be asking again. But definitely, if you're looking for a quarterback right now, we said it last week, Captain Kweef Cousins. You know, you're Cincinnati. You want to salvage your season. Cincinnati? Go make a move for Kirk Cousins. San Francisco, I know Brock Turdy's coming back, but if he doesn't, if he keeps on getting banged up, go get Captain Kweef. Brad, what's your thoughts?
Other than burning your house down, I mean, not much at the moment. Sorry, I'm just filled with rage, so I can't think. Brock Purdy's going to be back, and shut your goddamn mouth about anything else other than that.
Hope.
All right, and Mac Jones has not looked better than him when Brock has played, so everyone could shut up about that too. But your other ones, I would totally agree with. I think Kirk Cousins, I don't know about Cincinnati pulling the trigger on that just with the amount of money they spent on other things just for one season.
Too much money.
I don't think Kirk Cousins isn't Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow can take that team to the Super Bowl. Kirk Cousins can't. Kirk Cousins can help out, obviously go back to Minnesota because Kevin O'Connell could just take. Oh, speaking of that, Carson Wentz, MVP, comeback player of the year, all in the same season, starting this week.
No.
Trust me, no. I've seen that before. Doesn't work.
Nope. You haven't seen it with Kevin O'Connell. I'm telling you right now. Okay, J.J. McCarthy, one good quarter. This whole year he's played. One quarter.
Offensive player of the week.
Yeah, and it was the worst award ever given. I say you turn it over to Carson Wentz.
Maybe.
But I wanted to ask that earlier. What are your thoughts on that? Would either of you have turned over to Carson Wentz? Because that offense, I know he threw for sub 200, whatever, but they got 2-3 defensive touchdowns. They didn't need it.
Right.
Yeah.
I never liked J.J. McCarthy that much coming in. First-round pick, I was skeptical. Passing 10-12 attempts a game at Michigan, I was skeptical. Carson Wentz, we've seen a couple flashes. A couple flashes from Carson. I think it should be a wide-open competition.
Me too.
I might even go with the veteran, but I understand sticking with your first-round pick, J.J., rookie, just like my Titans. Let him take his licks. Let him have his bumps, Sam.
It's tough because what I've learned from the Colts situation is you do have other players on that team. And the Vikings, they have a good defense. They have good weapons. So it's kind of hard to sell that to your guys when in one game with Carson Wentz, who is a competent game manager, you absolutely shellac the Bengals, put up all kinds of points. Then you're going to tell those same guys, well, we're going back to this guy that's only played one half of a good quarter. There's a certain amount of take your licks, and then there's deer in the headlights where you're doing them a disservice to their confidence. Yes. I don't know. It's a tough one. I would probably stick with Wentz.
Ooh. I wasn't sure how you guys would react. I thought it was an honest question, but I'm being real. If McCarthy's out 4 weeks, and that's his first game, he plays better every game, you don't pull him out. That team was the second best record in the NFC last year. Barely, didn't they lose it last week of the season to Detroit?
One game.
No. So, if that team's good enough, McCarthy doesn't look like it yet. I haven't seen that yet. I don't know about you guys. I saw a quarter that was all right. But other than that, I haven't seen it yet. And if Wentz can pull it off, you got to. You got to. But, yeah, I just thought that was a neat situation. It's, yet again, these redemption stories for quarterbacks. It's all over the place. It's nuts.
It's the new thing.
It is.
Well, boys, that's going to do us this week for High Fiber Sports. We hope everybody out there is getting their fiber in. Please like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Let us know, is Kyle Shanahan the coach of the year? Yeah. Shane Steichen the coach of the year? Which one of these undefeated teams are going to shit the bed? We got injuries. We got the trade landscape. Let us know how you're feeling, what we could do better, what you thought was funny. Sammy, let us know how you're feeling Any predictions for the Colts coming up? A hot start like we've seen plenty of times in the past.
I'll say this: a serious test on Sunday. Going to LA to take on the Rams. They looked very dangerous against the Eagles. The one thing that maybe has gone under the radar with the Colts is the defense. Defense has given up a little bit. Defense also dealing with some injuries. Going to be without Kenny Moore, star slot cornerback for the Colts. So yeah, I mentioned I do think the Colts are for real. Big test on Sunday. J.J. McCarthy, he's played one good quarter and one NFC Player of the Week. Someone that's played 12 good quarters and has won back-to-back AFC Offensive Player of the Week. That's Jonathan Taylor, boys. That guy is special. He's the best running back in the NFL right now.
Woo! That's the only Colt that I can cheer for. As you know, Sam, he's been my keeper for his whole career in our main fantasy league. So that's the only Colt that I can cheer for, JT. Brad, take us home, brother. Put us to bed. I know it's been a long weekend for you coming out here to the Mile High City. My dad had to bring you some napkins, allegedly, to wipe off your face after you got your ass smacked in that Papa shot. Let the people know what happened there.
Well, I was just glad that you didn't spend your wedding shitting all over everyone like you did at Sam's.
The dance floor bandit.
Yeah, he's back. I about threw up when I was at the dance floor, man. But no, I would say the NFL season's off to a fucking great start. I'm so excited about everything. It's a crazy thing. I mean, the Browns defense might be one of the best defenses in the league. So all I want to say to everyone out there, if you're feeling down, even the Browns can be good at stuff, so you're okay.